Hey, does anyone have a charging cable? Got it. If you use any kind of electronic device, which obviously you do because it's 2019, you've probably already had your fair share of experience with USB cables, at least with using them. But do you actually know the various kinds of USB connector types and how they differ? Hey guys, I'm Luna and you're watching QuikTIPS, your quick and easy answers to all your tech questions. Today we're talking about USB, so let's get started! First off, what are the different types of USB connectors? So there are actually a bunch of different types of USB connectors out there, so we're just going to be focusing on the main ones. The most common USB connector types are Type A, Type B, Mini USB, Micro USB, and Type C. Starting off with the most common one, Type A. Type A USBs come with a standard connector with a flat rectangular shape that can be found on nearly every USB cable. A lot of your standard devices like PCs, flash drives, PC peripherals, and gaming consoles all use USB Type A. Though that's quickly changing as newer USB types are coming into the picture. Next, we have Type B, which is commonly used for printers and other devices for your PC. Type B USBs come with a square-shaped connector and is a little on the bigger side. Though since a lot of devices are moving towards smaller interfaces, we're seeing a lot less of Type B. The next two types of connectors we'll be looking at are Mini USB and Micro USB. Mini USB used to be the standard for mobile devices until Micro USB came around. Since then, Micro USB has been the standard for devices such as smartphones, tablets, power banks, and more. Although Micro USB is by far the most common out of the two, you'll still see the occasional Mini USB here and there on some devices like digital cameras and MP3 players. While Micro USB is definitely the most common standard for mobile devices, that might not be the case for much longer. Type C, the newest USB standard, comes with a smaller reversible connector and provides much faster transfer speeds than its predecessors. It's also backwards compatible, meaning you can still use it with many of the older USB standards like USB 2.0 and 3.0. The reason why USB Type-C is so important is because more and more devices are starting to use it, including laptops, smartphones, tablets, and gaming consoles. A common point of confusion is the difference between Type A and Type C. This is partly due to the fact that many laptops and PCs nowadays have ports for both types of connectors. But as you can see, they're obviously quite different. Type A usually comes on one end of most USB cables and is the one you're probably more familiar with. On the other hand, you'll find Type C more on newer devices. If you think the variations in USBs stop at just connector types, think again. USBs also have different standards for data transfer speeds. Much like connector types, standards for speeds have also improved and changed over time. So let's take a look at what the different standards are, along with their corresponding data transfer speeds. The main standards we'll be discussing are USB 2.0 and USB 3. So first off, we have USB 2.0 with a transfer speed of 480 megabytes per second, also called high speed, which ironically is considered fairly slow by today's standards. Regardless, you can still find USB 2.0 on older or cheaper models of products like flash drives, keyboards, or mice, and many PCs still come with USB 2.0 ports. Next, let's get into the current USB standard, USB 3. Now this is where things might get a little tricky. The reason being, there are so many different versions and generations of different versions, it can get really confusing. So let's break it down. USB 3.0 has a data transfer speed of 5 gigabytes per second and is also known as super speed. Then we have USB 3.1 Gen 1, which maintained the 5 gigabyte transfer speed, followed by USB 3.1 Gen 2, which doubled that with a data transfer speed of 10 gigabytes per second. This goes by the term Super Speed Plus, or Super Speed 10. But that's not all! Next we have USB 3.2 Gen 1, 3.2 Gen 2, and USB 3.2 Gen 2 by 2. What's up with all these versions? Okay, I know it seems really confusing at first, but just think about it this way. USB 3.2 Gen 1 is basically just a rebranding of USB 3.0. so they share the same transfer speed. And USB 3.2 Gen 2 is pretty much USB 3.1 Gen 2, so their transfer speeds are also the same. As for USB 3.2 Gen 2 by 2, this is currently the fastest USB speed standard at a whopping 20 gigabytes per second. Why don't we give it a go? That was fast. Oh my gosh, so fast! Okay, so there are different speeds. What's the big deal? Well, with faster speeds comes a number of advantages that you'll definitely want to make the most of. First, faster transfer speeds for your storage devices like your SSDs, hard drives, and flash drives. This means that anything you do involving storage will be way faster, like gaming, transferring photos, videos, music, or exporting large files for graphic design. Also, higher power capabilities, which allow for faster charging and more efficient power management for your devices. Another connector type worth mentioning is Lightning. Although this isn't exactly a true USB standard, it's still commonly used for Apple devices. Lightning cables come with a super thin and reversible connector that allows you to charge your Apple device and also send and receive data. While Lightning is definitely a very versatile connector, many new Apple devices are actually moving toward the more universal USB-C, which provides even higher performance. Okay guys, we're just about to wrap things up, but before we do, I have just one question for you. So, if you were to take all of these different connector types and put them in a gladiator-style battle to the death, which one do you think would win and why? Let me know in the comments below what you think. Alright guys, that's it for this episode. If you liked this video and you learned something new today, please give us a like and subscribe. And if you have any tech questions, just let us know in the comments below. That's it. I'm Luna. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye!